Welcome to the Rough Draft Conversations podcast over on Twatch.tv. Oh my god! Wow. Too many video feeds.
Like that one over there. That
Think it and drink it. Oh my god. Well, I'm also on mobile. I'm not on the Wi-Fi hotspot. It sucked. Yeah. It's exactly that. You didn't change the title. The rise of blood pressure. Oh.
So it's the rise of pressure.
Oh man. For some reason I thought this was episode 10. Yeah. The rise of blood pressure.
Yeah.
It's fitting since I've had heart attacks. Because people suck.
Yeah,
There's like a piece of monitor side of the camera. Just twist that monitor a little. No, wrong monitor. No, it's the middle one. There you go. Yeah. Where am I?
but yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's like we talk about, but I feel
Well, yeah. I mean, in the same way that Vine did. You know.
so
Yeah.
I expect
Right.
but then
And
I got
shenanigans.
TikTok, right.
Political comedy, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro, do you know what I didn't expect TikTok to be?
what?
Education. I've learned so much. I've learned so much about cooking,
Yep.
construction, and ADHD on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah. Well, I'm going to go back to the doctor and be like, look, here's some other things we got to focus on.
Right.
Oh, I'm a medication person for ADHD. My brain goes. Right. No, I would say after the first 2 weeks, you'll know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will be
Nos, fix your mic again. What is wrong with his mic? Yeah?
How much time does it take for us to figure that out? Thanks, chat. So long story short, what you guys have missed is ADHD, TikTok. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, education. But with TikTok, what we're talking about is like I don't feel like people are realizing like how much people are kind of waking up a little bit, and it's good in a lot of ways because people are realizing like my favorite explanation is the black conservative. That is the thing.
Okay, can we talk about the one black guy on TikTok who has pissed off every single fucking person on the planet?
Which one? Is it the guy that says stay woke?
No.
Okay.
No. He's black.
Uh-huh.
He's gay.
Oh, right. And he's a Republican.
And he supports the Confederate flag.
Yes.
And on the TikToks that he has made, he is wearing a rainbow-colored jacket with a Confederate flag on it and a MAGA hat. And I'm like, I love that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, who didn't he piss off?
He is amazing.
Who didn't he piss off today? Right? Yeah. I feel like that's the thing. People's seriousness is now the meme.
Yeah.
Right? The
100%.
meme is now who is taking everything so seriously.
Right.
And we're going to make fun of that and exploit that, right? And I think that
and then there's me making soup videos.
Right, yeah. And then there's me making videos about the movie Signs, right? I mean, it just, there's stuff all over. But what I'm getting at is I'm meeting more and more people on TikTok that don't fit the norm.
Cultural norm.
Whatever the norm is that I've been told my whole life is the norm, right? So my favorite is there's two really prominent black conservatives. And
that aren't Candace Owens.
Correct. Yes. and that's the thing is that there are more than that.
Yes.
And what I've been saying for years, because it was something I learned when I moved to California. So there was a big culture shock for me. I moved to San Diego. And I would argue that here in Indianapolis, the culture of black and white is very different from that in San Diego. In San Diego, it seems colorless. Like no one seems to give a shit. But here, I would argue that white people, there is racism, and black people have a chip on their shoulder about it. Now, it happened more dominantly previously, like within the past 30 years, which I would really expand to 40 because I still think it's 1,000. So, like, if you
it's 2020.
I know. So it'd be 50 years.
50 years.
Fuck. All right. Anyway,
we're so old.
I don't. So when you look back, like there's a big difference in like how people handle stuff. And that was a big culture shock for me. But then I started meeting all these black people and they were so conservative, like more conservative than me. And I was like,
bro, I'm not going to say his name, right? Because that would be incriminating.
Right.
I definitely know a Coke dealer here in Indianapolis who's a black conservative.
Right. And it's like, yeah, he's just doing the free market, man.
And
he's capitalist,
he's just fucking capitalism, bro.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
But like political views,
conservative.
100% conservative.
Right. And like I'm talking about like corporal punishment for their children.
Yeah.
Right? Like they spank their kids.
Yes.
They are typically more anti-homosexuality than I would argue white culture is. They are it's a mix and mash, right? Like it's like there's a mix there. But for the most part, when you talk about stuff, where they look at though is they look at community as a bigger thing. Like white people, we don't have a community. There's no community of white people, right? So like if I see a white guy suffering on the side of the road, I'm like, yeah, that's a good way of saying it. We're not a community, we're a conglomerate. And it's funny. That's actually really funny. That's a quote. White people aren't a community, they're a conglomerate. Yeah, exactly. And
it's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. But what I'm saying is like, and there was a black guy on TikTok, and he said, you know what's the difference between black people and white people? When white people see a white guy get shot by the cops, they're like, yeah, he probably deserved it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like, I'm like, yeah.
I had no doubt in my mind at all. They said Florida man shot on I-95, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he probably deserved it.
I'm going to read the rest of the article to find out what he did to get shot.
Right.
But I already know he did something to get shot.
It's so true, dude. But that's what I'm saying is it's a big difference in And so
Wait, what? What? There was a dude like 2-3 weeks ago that got shot by the police on I-95.
Yeah.
Because my wife is asking in chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She probably didn't hear this part
right.
last episode. But, you know, he was high on bath salts, coke, crack, meth, and Adderall. Like, how he's not dead from that,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
But he decided, while naked, to walk down the middle of I-95 and fight cops and steal a cop car, wreck it onto the other side of I-95, bite 3 cops, and then bang!
Right. Yeah. Because at that point
About
they
the
realized
conglomerate thing. Oh, white people aren't a community; we're a conglomerate.
that's the quote. That's a quote of a century. What we were talking about is like the difference between like there's like a black community, Asian community.
Yeah.
Those like the but I don't know.
Like if they see each other broke down on the side of the road,
yes,
they will
will
stop.
stop purely because the person is Asian
Or black
right,
or Mexican
or
whatever.
Right. Like whereas
White people don't do that.
I see a white dude pull over. I'm like, nah, dude.
I'm like, yeah,
I'm good.
he
He's
can
probably
fix
gonna murder
his-
me.
He can fix his own tire.
Yeah. So it's one of those things like, and I don't necessarily argue that one's better than the other.
No,
I don't care. I'm just saying that that's how it is.
That's our
right?
mentalities.
Right. And
Yeah.
I don't care. But I would
Yeah.
also argue that in a way I actually admire it because like in communities where like when you have like these boroughs, right, where it's like a predominantly black community, they help each other out.
All the
right?
time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Right. And they
I
look
mean,
out
I'm
for
from
each
the
other.
far east side, dude. Like,
Right. Yeah. So like I believe in collectivism to a degree, but I believe it should be natural and grassroots as opposed to like organized by the government. Right.
Right.
So like that's my big thing is I believe in that.
Yeah.
You should care about your neighbors.
Yeah.
Right. Like if my neighbor's house is on fire, I don't even talk to them.
so like over on the east side, right? And this
Yeah.
is a prime example of it. Little black kids having a birthday party. The whole fucking neighborhood
is there.
was invited
yeah,
and
yeah.
is there.
Right. Yeah. Because it turns into like a neighborhood block party. Right.
Right,
Like
and
every
it's-
party.
Amazing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Same area, just like one little cul-de-sac over. White kids
Right.
having a birthday party. There's 6 people there.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yep.
Because nobody fucking knows that it's his birthday.
Right. I mean, like my kids, for instance, but we also keep ours intentionally small.
Yeah.
Like we were like, I don't want to have a party. Like that's the difference, right? It's just differences in
Right.
culture and stuff.
Right.
So anyway, I like where things are going right now when it comes to the lower, like when I say the lower, I mean like the people who are just people, the rap trash, the random ass people doing
The regular ass people.
I want to say random.
It's regular.
It's regular.
Regular ass people
ass
doing
people
regular ass
regular
shit.
ass shit, right? And I think that
Rapdrafts.com. Get your merch.
yep, she's super awesome, man. She's hilarious.
I love Kiki. She's
I,
amazing.
yeah. Did you have you seen the video on TikTok where the guy's doing the adjustment with the rod in the guy's butt? And he's like, first time, huh? Every time I see that, I'm like, I don't know if I want to try this or if I don't
Dude,
want to try it.
I fucking absolutely want for a fucking chiropractor to be hitting me with a spike. I just think that there was something very visceral about it.
Yeah,
And I feel like
it would help.
if there's
Right.
like, I have this little spot in my neck that no matter how many times my chiropractor adjusts me,
Right.
it never gets fixed. And I really think it's because the vertebrae from where I broke my neck is just twisted.
Right.
And I feel like if somebody just took a hammer and a chisel and just fucking
Right.
whacked on it a little bit, it would
Yeah.
align itself and I would be just fine.
Right. But he has to go through your butt.
No, you don't have to go through the butt.
Just play out the fantasy
Bro.
of getting railed on TikTok.
You may have a fantasy of having somebody shove a spike up your butt. I don't.
I just looked at it and was like, I don't know.
I
'Cause
know
it's
what
like-
the guy was
because-
working on, and
Right.
he was working on the dude's sciatic nerve.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know about that.
So if you go on YouTube, you can watch like UFC fighters and all kinds of like get their shoulders adjusted with that kind of stuff. There's a dude. There's a dude. He's a former Olympic bodybuilder.
Okay.
Right. Bro is huge.
Uh-huh.
Like, goddamn,
Yeah,
you're
scary.
huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Like scary big. Right.
So he's now a chiropractor.
I wouldn't go to him.
I would not either.
I don't want to die.
So the video.
I don't want to get Mortal Kombated.
Right.
Hey, your spine ripped in half. Reviewing. Facts fixed.
Right. You feel no more pain. Right.
Right. I was dead.
So he's working on Tito Ortiz, the former
Okay.
light heavyweight UFC champion.
Okay.
Right. Dude's got a hammer the size of Thor's hammer. Hold it, just beep, and a chisel, and he's
Yeah, like doing.
I'm like, that's a 30-pound sledgehammer.
Yeah, and he's holding it like a little.
And he's just like, I'm like, guy, no. You could use a regular size hammer and do that same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But he has that. But anyway, so what are some of the topics? We talked about this. We called this out. We had a
lot of
conversation.
topics.
He sent me a bunch of TikToks with topics to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to TikTok and look at my messages.
You can
but-
say it either way, babe. Sciatic or sciatic.
Sciatic.
I think it's actually sciatic.
I don't language police. I know
Yeah.
what you meant to say.
Psychotic
Yeah,
nerve.
if you're like soplanic nerve, I'd be like,
You're an
okay,
idiot.
Yeah,
That one's in your
but
shoulder.
it's in the same. Right. Yeah. But if it's like you're just saying it in a slightly different way, I'm not worried about
Yeah,
it. You know. Okay, so let me look at my inbox here. You know what I really wish TikTok would do? I wish that it wouldn't be a button up here and it was down at the bottom as a notification thing. Because like I'll get the notification that like
Oh,
something happened.
yes.
Then I click into it and I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, it's up in
It
my
needs a separate inbox button. Like
Right,
it needs
just-
4
yes.
buttons or 5 buttons at the bottom. One
is
is
the
an
inbox,
button.
right?
Yeah.
And then it's the notifications take you to all of your notifications and down to it.
I do it to you all the time when you say things like skimictor for scimitar.
So is this the okay? So you sent the one with the girl who said that they were going to take back words, and one of them was the N word, and she used it as
the
a
vegan teacher. She actually
Yes.
got canceled, like completely canceled off of TikTok. Like TikTok banned her for some.
well,
of the things
yeah,
that
because
said.
she literally put the N word on her
That is
stream.
okay. So I was sending that to you because that's the least of her offenses, right,
Right.
bro?
I mean, I mean, I'm with you, dude. Like it, but okay. I can't remember her name. I'll have to look through it. I might shout her out. She's a black lady that's on TikTok, and she is the one that like she will find all these crazy white people,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
she'll be like, "You do realize that you're the racist?" Like she'll break down what it is that they're saying,
Yeah.
and say
Because
that
they're
you're
trying
actually,
they're trying to advocate for
Right,
black people, but
because
they're
they
actually
can't.
being more racist.
right by
and- yeah.
advocating for them because it's like you're weak-minded,
Right.
you're not strong enough, etc. Like they
Right.
don't realize that, you know. And I think that
It's like Joe Biden saying that minority voters can't get online. Sorry, I'm just
he
bro.
dude, the fact that guy is so racist. Like
So-
I'm gonna call this out.
Dude.
The dude has been
He read the
pro-segregation.
eulogy at the head of the Ku Klux Klan's funeral.
yeah, but wasn't it
He read his
wasn't it
eulogy.
Joe Biden though that was literally outspoken on video about segregation? Like he
Yes.
wanted segregation.
Yes,
in
he did
school?
not want schools to
Yeah, like
to desegregate.
you know why? Because Joe Biden is so old. He's been around since segregation.
I
people
would say he's
don't-
been around since slavery.
Yeah, he might be.
I mean, the
he's-
way he walks upstairs. I mean,
Oof. Poor. I talked about this.
Donald Trump even has trouble walking down a ramp.
Right, yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that
yeah.
aged real well.
Yeah. I think that I feel bad for him because the first stumble like that he does would like it could happen to anyone. Could
Yeah.
literally happen to anyone.
Right.
It's the next two where it's like he shows how decrepit he is.
Yeah.
I've walked upstairs and fallen upstairs. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you know, walking
100%.
upstairs,
Real fast,
You're
your-
trying to go real quick.
Your
and,
toes grab it,
right,
but
and you just-
nothing else. you
Nothing
just-
else. And then your toe goes off, and then you
Yeah.
right. But here's the thing: I didn't care when Donald Trump was going down the ramp. I don't really care that Joe Biden fell. It's just one of those things that's like because they went after Trump.
Now,
Now
you
I
have
got to
to
talk
look
about
at it.
Biden because
Right.
it's like, okay, you've made
Right.
like it wasn't a thing. Like
And
and-
can I point out that the reason that they were talking about Donald Trump is because the ramp that he was walking down is actually very steep. And it was fucking freezing rain.
right, yeah, it was icy. Right, exactly. Not just a set of stairs
And he
up to a
walked
plane.
slower and held onto a handrail.
I don't see a problem with any of that.
I would
do that. Right.
have done the exact same thing
Right. Yep.
as a 30-year-old man
Right. Exactly.
in my 20s. I
Yeah.
would have done the exact same
Yeah.
thing
It's called safety.
because I don't want to break my fucking tailbone.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I know. And I like I said, it wouldn't have been an issue. But here's the thing. The spectacle, this is a whole subject in and of itself. When I was a kid, let's go, not even say kid, I'll say a teenager, still a kid, but like an older kid.
Yeah, yeah.
George W. Bush, that man
Is a moron.
is a moron. There's no other way. Like, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he seems like, so yeah.
If you teach a child to read, she will pass a literacy test.
Right, yeah. So, yes. So that's what I'm saying. He said some
What?
really dumb, stupid things, right? But I remember,
Imagination is where wings take dream.
but the news didn't make that the story. Saturday Night Live did.
Right.
People made fun of those
Right.
things, right?
Yeah.
That was the culture. The culture was there were shows that were about making
It
fun
was
of that.
it was a really good strategy.
Right. Yes. Right. It's strategery. Right. Yes. That was another one. I remember there's like a whole list of his guffaws and videos and stuff.
Bro.
Well, here's what I'm getting at. But the media didn't make fun of it, and the media didn't analyze it. And what I mean by that is like the media that mom and dad are watching, the older people are
Right.
watching. It didn't make fun of that stuff.
Right.
They respected the office of the presidency.
Right. And now it's become a
And
farce.
now it's like what happened was the Jon Stewart show.
Yeah.
Started to be where people got their news. They
Yeah.
stopped watching Fox and they started watching him as a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? So then the problem is the news went, hey, that pulls in ratings.
we should do
Let's soften it, make it seem like it's new.
Yeah.
And form an entertainment out
Yeah.
of it. And so that's what's really frustrating about all of this is that I would not want to see footage of my president falling. Call it propaganda, call it whatever you want.
that. Right.
I don't want to see the failures of the president because you want the world to see your
the
president is
strength.
strong.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like,
mean, let's look at what this has caused in actual politics and for country, right? So we're sitting with NATO, China.
Okay.
And China literally, their representative for their country made the statement that we are not negotiating with the United States at this time because they are not in a position of power to make us negotiate.
right. Yes.
Because of that one guy.
Right.
Because our president is fucking filmed falling upstairs
Right.
and being made fun of. We are no longer showing the actual power
Yeah. And
that we have.
Xi Jinping
Yeah.
definitely falls upstairs. Right. Like,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like he does all that kind of
Bro.
stuff. Right. Like he farts.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Kim Jong-un, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
He faked his own death.
Right. Yeah. Like when he was, and then his weird sister, she's scary, man.
Yeah,
Like she's weird.
She's weird.
But like, and the fact that didn't he have like two of his siblings assassinated? Do
Yes.
you remember this?
Yeah.
And it's like everybody was just like, that's North Korea. Like it's like
Right.
what?
And that
Right.
wasn't filmed.
Right, exactly. Well, it was
That-
filmed. There was
I
footage
mean,
of
there
it.
was footage of it.
Of the
yes.
people who didn't know that they were actually killing people.
Yes.
You know how that went, right?
Yeah.
They told them they were on a game show and they were
Yes.
pranking people.
Yes.
And they had a target and it was
Yes.
sisters and they were really assassins and they didn't know it.
Yes.
Messed
Wild.
up. Super messed up. That's crazy. But anyway, what I'm getting at is continue. Sorry.
But like, it wasn't filmed showing him like, oh, I'm so sad about it, or
Right.
I did this, or yeah, I did that. It was
Right.
neutral,
Neutral, right. And that's it.
and there was nothing else about it.
The only people talking about it were not people from the country.
Right.
Right. So it's not like Korea was even like entertaining.
Really
it.
talking about it.
So it's where we should get. I don't care if it happens under Biden, whoever the next president is.
Harris.
Can we just stop?
Let's be real
Well,
honest.
right. Yeah. Well, he keeps calling her President Harris, which
Bro.
is just hilarious too. But what I'm getting at is I don't care when it happens, but we need to get back to that normalcy. But there are literally people saying that he stumbled 3 times up the stairs like Jesus did carrying the cross. Literally
I sent
comparing
you
him
that
to the
TikTok.
Savior. Yeah. So like there's this weird worship of him.
They're like, Jesus died and came back 3 days later.
Cool. That's
All
the
right.
way the story goes.
Biden fell up the stairs 3 times.
Right. But Jesus fell 3 times carrying the cross.
Right.
Right.
I'm
Until
like-
somebody helped him. Right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I know. But isn't it weird? Like how cult-like it is? But it's
How-
cult-like on both sides.
How Pentecostal is this?
I know. I actually don't know many Pentecostals that would want to hear that, right? They wouldn't want to hear Biden being
Compared
equated to their
Jesus.
savior.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, it's just
But it's that level of crazy, right? It's that level of cultism.
right. But it's on both sides.
Yeah,
Like you have
I
like
mean, yeah.
these diehard Trump supporters. Like I was talking to my mom and dad last night, and I was like, listen, I was like,
And I don't give a fuck about Trump,
I don't.
like at all.
No.
Like he had some good policy. He had some questionable policy.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
Some things that he did before his presidency are why I show the man respect.
right.
Because for instance, him donating or giving loans
Yeah, right to the black community.
to the black community to open businesses in New York.
right.
That's fine.
That's awesome. Right.
And then taking the payments that they made him on those loans, and at the end of their loan term, giving that money back to them to reinvest in their own businesses.
right.
That's super awesome.
Right. But at the same time, the Trump Academy was literally
Right.
the exact opposite of that.
Right.
It was literally like
So
people are complex. They're not just one
they're not
thing.
just one thing.
Right.
Right.
And that's what
And
drives me
so,
nuts.
like, I have respect for the man.
Right.
That's it.
But I also have disrespect for him.
Right.
Right.
I
can look at a person and realize that there are certain things about them I like.
Right.
And I try to look at those things.
like there are a lot of
more.
things I like about you,
Right.
and then there are a couple of things I'm like, you're an idiot.
Right. But you just focus on the good in people, and
Right.
it's a lot better, right? It's a better society. But that's
Hell, I look at myself that way.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I look at everything that way. And that's what I think we're losing is like we're only focusing on the bad attributes.
Right.
America is, or in my opinion, I still think it is, a great country. We
Yeah.
have a checkered past.
Yeah.
Well, let's focus on how we came away from the checkered past instead of the actual checkered past.
Right.
That's kind of how I want to look at it. Same thing with people. I think that you can mess up. I think that you can do, for the most part, a lot of stuff that you can do can be pretty terrible.
Right.
As long as it's not murder. I kind of get a little into a shade of gray on the murder thing, like where forgiveness starts to kind of come into play. But
I feel like rape
yes,
is one that you just don't get forgiveness for.
that word, dude, I'm telling you, I told my dad, I said, I'm actually not pro death penalty for someone who commits murder. I'm actually but someone who commits rape,
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Because that person, if they survive, especially if they survive,
It's
has
fucked.
to live for the rest of their life
Yeah.
having being raped.
Yeah.
And
And it is a mental
yeah,
torture.
you have tortured that person for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So you either need to be put to death or
I think
you
the
need
person
to be tortured
that
for the rest of your life.
I think
just
the
like they are.
person that has that done to them
Yeah.
should get to kill the person.
Right. Yeah. Like as a judgment.
As a
Or-
judgment.
yeah. Or as a, like they get to make the final call. Like it goes to jury.
Yeah.
Right. Jury says, yeah, they're guilty of rape.
Yeah. They
These
put
are
him
the
up in front of a
possible-
firing squad. That person that
Right.
got raped is the
Right.
one with the bullet.
Right.
Fuck
Yep,
it. Let's
yep.
go.
Yep.
That way
And-
their conscience is clear because they're not sure they have the bullet.
Right. Exactly.
But
That's
then they
why-
also get to be on the firing squad that
Right.
did the thing.
Yep. I actually think that.
And pedophile. My wife said, and pedophiles.
Yeah, pedophiles as well. Because if you
Yeah.
touch kids,
Or as they're being called now, minor attracted people. You're a fucking pedophile, dude. Like,
okay,
it's
so
a pedophile.
So I do
Bullshit.
have a concern with how that's slowly getting normal, and it's so apparent that it's getting
well,
normalized.
you heard what California did.
No, I didn't.
So California has a bill on their docket right now that is legalizing, not
Uh-huh.
just normalizing, legalizing minor attracted people. Because up to 10 years younger, it is legal to do whatever you want to with another person, no matter the age. So if you're 20
You like 10-year-olds.
and you like 10-year-olds, you're legal.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but if that shit comes in my neighborhood, I'm going to hunt you down and I'm going to kill you.
Yep. Yep.
And
that's
I will
messed up.
take the repercussions
Right.
of the police trying to find that goddamn body.
Right. I wanna stop for a minute. I remember one of the things that I was taught in my Christian upbringing was that the fall of Rome happened because they turned away from Christian thought, right? So there was this period in Rome where you had like Roman gods, right? Like these
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pagans.
Yeah.
Christianity starts to rise after Christ's death, right? For a couple hundred years.
Okay.
And Rome starts to fall. And they said that the fall of Rome happened because they started doing stuff like not having rules of like society.
Right.
And so like to them, I'm not advocating for this part, but for them it was homosexuality became normal.
Right.
And then the idea
Having
of
sex
like
with
a
kids.
family. Right. But then the last thing was like the last straw was when there was pedophilia.
Yep.
Right. And so pedophilia was like, and the thing is like they used to have stable boys.
Yeah.
They weren't stable boys to tend the stable. They were stable boys so that the man could go in and rape the kid, basically, right? And so, like, it was the fall of morality is what people would argue was the fall of Rome because, and I would argue, I'm starting to kind of feel like that's true. Like, when your society goes away from, like, strict rules, because the other thing that's really interesting is like China, for instance, China's not pro-trans. China's not pro-homosexuality. China's not pro these things.
China
right?
is super.
They're super
anti.
Yeah, they
all
kill
of that.
them. They literally kill these people. And it's like...
And they torture pedophiles to death.
Yeah. And
they water... Like,
so,
there's literally record of them waterboarding pedophiles to death.
Right.
Do you know how bad that would be to die?
Yeah, that would be terrible, right? I mean, it's already considered bad torture when they live.
Because it's fake drowning.
Right. Yeah.
They trick your brain into drowning yourself.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Bro.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good, right? So what I'm saying is that we have to find that balance.
That scares me so much it gave me chills.
I know, dude. I know.
Like,
I feel you.
that is fucking... Like, drowning is my worst fear.
Oh, drowning for me, 100%.
Like, I would rather be set on fire.
Yeah, you suffocate really fast, so... Yeah,
well, and all your nerve endings die, and you don't feel it.
Quick,
yeah.
I feel like people... We need to find the balance, and I thought that we were getting there. I felt like when we started talking about gay marriage, I felt like we were finding the way where I felt like we were heading too conservative, right? We were heading towards this like, what were they called? Puritan society, right? We were heading towards Puritan. And then I was like, okay, we're kind of curving it, but let's try to stay like, here's the good course, right? This line in the desk. And we were kind of going this way. I felt like we were bending. Yeah. And we had met it when we started talking about gay marriage. And then all of a sudden, in the past, I don't know, 3 to 6 years, it's like we hit that line and we just went sideways. Like we just went this way to crazy town.
My wife said, and you've technically drowned how many times?
Twice, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's terrifying. Every time.
No, man, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, right. I don't want to. Terrifying. Dude, I just, even the thought, I almost drowned when I was a kid. Me and my buddy got this idea to swim across the lake.
Yeah, no.
And he was a swimmer.
Nope.
So for him,
easy.
He's going.
Yeah.
For me,
yeah.
Halfway in. I'm going underwater. Water's going in. I'm coughing it out. Literally trying. He's screaming. And his brother gets the boat, and they literally get me as I was done. Like I had hit the point where I had no more. And I was going under, and they grabbed me and got me out.
That was me in Hawaii. I got pulled in by a riptide.
Oh, no, dude. See, that's what I'm saying, man. It's
Bro,
so terrifying. It's so
salt water hurts so bad.
Yes, it does.
And
yes, it does.
If it hadn't been for my buddy Grant, who was on the fucking shore, and he thought I was goofing off at first.
Right, and then he's like, uh-oh.
And then he came, and then he like saw me struggling and killing my ex-wife at the same time because she tried to grab me from the front, which never do to a drowning person.
You go from the back.
You got to grab her from behind. I'm fucking pushing her, like, because it's fucking fight for your life.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he finally came out, and by the time I got back on the beach, I was blue, no color.
Right.
Lips were fucking blue and white. Like,
I'm not.
I was dying.
The ocean terrifies me. Like water, I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
right.
No.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is that we need to have. There needs to be a baseline, and we're heading towards this hedonistic. Nothing matters. Do what makes you feel good. Well, as a libertarian, I agree up to a point.
Right.
But there's harming others that comes into that equation.
Well, so as someone who would say I'm pretty close to hedonistic myself.
Right.
You know, in certain manuscripts, like they call it the Satanic Bible, right? There are laws that you don't break. period.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's
Like, there are things that happen that you don't do. There's literally a passage in that manuscript that says, do not rape people and do not have sex with children.
right. Yeah. There's
And that's in the Satan Bible.
right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's.
Bruh.
I think that we have a point, right? And what I'm getting is, I don't think China's a great country. I think that it's a
No.
terrifying country.
Yeah.
Killing gay people, killing a person, I don't care. For some weird reason, like
Right.
that is like either
I
natural
mean,
or
wasn't
choice.
China the one that also like pinch your daughter's nose because there's too many women in the country, like drown her? Like,
Yeah, well, they.
I
Also
mean, that was a
had-
while
They
ago.
also had the one-child policy, which was a failed experiment,
yeah,
and basically people were aborting every time they had a girl because
Yeah.
boys were considered like more
lucrative.
and they were better, like they were the superior sex,
Yeah.
and so they were literally like killing baby girls so that they could have one.
Well, that's what
kid.
I was talking about. Yeah.
They literally were drowning kids, and then
Yeah.
they had to get rid of it because they realized they didn't have enough people to reproduce to fund their communist economy.
Right.
Because the way that communist and socialist programs work is you need people feeding money into the system for it to keep going.
Right.
Well, when you reduce your population growth, where it's not a one-to-one replacement, you lose money
That money
to
yeah.
fund old people, right?
That's crazy.
That's basically how it works. And so
Just-
they're a country that's messed up. I've been talking about China and how messed up China was since college. I did like 3
Yeah.
papers on China talking about climate change.
Seems like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked about climate change and how China is forecasted, if they go at their current rate, they're going to be the entire country will be a desert by like 2036 because they got to feed that many people. And if you have
Oh.
giant herds of goats to
Yeah.
feed those people, they eat the grass on the edge of the desert, and then
Right.
the desert creeps, and it literally creeps by feet a year.
Yeah.
And you've got these people, and they're all along this line of this desert, and that desert has grown significantly every year because
Yeah.
their country's so big. And I remember being there when I got KFC when I was in China. I started thinking about the fact that there are billions of people in this country eating chickens. How many chickens are in China? Like that math, literally. Thor's in here today, and he just went.
That's
So-
really weird. You said chicken, and he was like, "Yes."
Yeah, he does. He loves chicken. Is that chicken bone hitting your gut? Is that what's up, buddy? You got a chicken bone. Not on purpose. You're not supposed to give dogs chicken bones.
Right. I figured not.
Yeah, hence the groan. But anyway, it's just crazy, man. Like the way that
Yeah.
we've gone is nuts, and I don't know how you fix it. People keep talking about this great reset. Maybe we need a great reset. Maybe we need
I mean,
half of the country can go great reset into a true socialist nation, and they can have death panels for insurance and
yeah.
have everything they want. And you can have, I would hope, a hybrid system and not a purely capitalist driven system over on the other side
Right.
and be done. Right.
Yeah.
And then we can just go on with our lives. Right. Like where you have bickering between 1990s Democrats and Republicans versus today where it's like everybody's on these crazy
Right.
extremes. Right.
I
And
feel
so-
like we need to bring back 1995.
yeah. Blowjobs in the
where
White House.
the worst thing that happened was our president got a blowjob in his office.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And you know what's funny is I don't care. That's
I
not
don't
what I care
care that
about.
he
I
got a
care that he
blowjob in his
lied.
office.
I care that he lied.
I care that he
about
lied about it.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And so,
But I mean, if Hillary was your wife, wouldn't you get a blowjob
God,
from the
dear
secretary?
Lord, yes. Any
It's like living human versus to give you a blowjob versus Skeletor to give you a blowjob.
although I want to think about this from the other side. Yeah. Oh. I would never have sex. Like if I was a woman,
Yeah.
I would never have sex with a man president. You know why? Chances of you getting killed just instantly go up.
Oh,
right?
100%.
So like,
you
I'm
just
good.
eh.
So you know how they always say that like women chase like power, right?
I have
Like,
a
with the sex-
question about her though.
What?
Is she technically part of the Secret Service?
Yes. I had to think about it. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you have to. But no, anyway. So what's an actual? Does anyone have like an actual? What's an occurrence we were going to talk about?
I don't even.
Do we have?
We
like
got derailed so fast.
I know, dude. What was? Was there any specific event that like outside of him stumbling up the stairs that has happened. We don't even have to be talking about politics. We can talk about the acquisition of Discord in the streaming space.
We need to talk about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah,
I don't know
we were
what.
gonna talk about this last
I
week.
don't know what about the Bermuda Triangle because okay, so there was a period with the Bermuda Triangle where it was like all over everything, right? Like people were trying to explore it.
Oh yeah.
People were trying to like figure out why the magnetic field around that particular piece of ocean was like crazy, I guess. I don't know. I was too young to really understand what was going on. But by the time I got old enough to understand like what magnetic fields can do,
right,
and all of that stuff, it started to like go away. Like nobody's talking about the Bermuda Triangle anymore.
Right.
Nobody's talking about Stonehenge. Nobody's talking about these big
like
fucking alien things.
Right. Yes, I agree.
On our planet.
Yep, I agree. I think that so have you ever heard the theory that the Earth's magnetic field will flip?
Yes.
And it's catastrophic every time it happens.
Yes.
Right. So
which is a theory on the flood and a theory on dinosaurs dying.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There's like, so I feel like the Bermuda Triangle specifically.
Yeah.
Is like, because magnetic fields, if you've ever seen a map of how magnetic fields are given or like emitted from a planet,
Right,
they're kind of like like they go up.
They're
and out.
cardioid.
Yeah, they are. Exactly. That's exactly what they are. Cardioid pattern, right?
Yeah.
So they go like this, right? I feel like
You should
there's
do
like
that
a
this
line.
way.
Oh yeah, sorry. So everybody knows. It's shaped like it's at a point, a hard point, and then it opens up and out and goes out
like two
this,
circles.
Right? Yes.
Like a figure eight.
Right. But in all directions around the planet, right?
Yes.
So, but there's like this point in the poles where it emits up and out, right?
Yeah.
And so I wonder if, did you know that because the world is a sphere, there is always, yes, don't start that shit, dear Lord. Because the world is a sphere and shaped as a sphere, there is no way for there to never be a vortex. So because of that, that's why there's always a spiral in somewhere on the planet because of the way the wind moves across it, it's always going to have a spiral. I wonder if with magnetic fields, it's the same thing, but for whatever reason, that point on the planet is the Bermuda Triangle. So I feel like there's some magnetic field issue that's created in that area.
With the rotation of the Earth and all the changes on the Earth and the eventual magnetic flip, right?
Right.
Does the Bermuda Triangle move?
Yes, I think it will. And I actually think that it will, as it flips, it'll be like a line, right? So wherever it moves, it'll go across the planet. That's when stuff will go nuts because of that point. That's my theory.
So
I am completely a scientist.
Sure.
We go put my lab coat on.
You have a lab coat?
No, I wish I did. That'd be how hilarious would it be? It was like the longest joke waiting, right? Pulled out a lab coat and just put it on.
Science, bitch.
Yeah. Like I've been waiting for that moment, you know.
So like I honestly and this kind of ties in with the cloning theory, right? Is like people are being cloned.
Right. Yeah. Oh no, 100%. 100% agree.
Right. So I'm honestly like, what if the Bermuda Triangle, because it is a very strong magnetic field, and magnetic fields cause severe disruption and cause a lot of different effects that we don't know because we can't study it, because everything that goes into it dies.
Right. Yeah.
I almost sent a rover it. Nope.
All right.
It's gone.
Yep.
What if that's actually like extraterrestrial?
Sure.
And so they're using it as like a hiding spot.
Right.
And then cloning people and then putting them back out here. Like V.
Oh yeah, dude, the show V with the reptile people.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
No, I mean, I almost wonder if it's the Atlanteans. You don't know. It
or
could
like
literally be the Atlanteans.
It could be God.
Well, what we deem as
what we
God,
deem
right?
as God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. You don't know.
You don't know.
It's crazy. But what? So
what if it's dinosaurs?
Yeah, and they've evolved. Like dinosaurs evolved into humanoids.
Right. And
Right.
then V.
And then yeah. Right.
Bro.
I mean, maybe. No, they were just talking too. Like so little. Like when people get excited about space travel, I get excited to a degree.
I don't.
But we have so much about our own planet. We still have
Dude, we can't
no
get to the
idea.
bottom of the ocean.
right. Like in some of the the deepest parts of the ocean,
Yeah.
we can't even get to. Right. Exactly.
We can't
need
get
to-
to the bottom of the ocean.
Right. We need to figure that out. Right. That's the stuff I want to know. Right. My planet.
We can go into a vacuum
right.
where there's
Where's radiation?
yeah,
Yeah.
and we
massive
can't get
radiation.
and we can't get to the bottom of the ocean.
Right. Because of the pressure. Right. Yeah. 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 Like, did you see that
There's fish down there.
Yeah. So Venus, for instance, our sister planet, right?
Yeah.
We have sent.
Or Serena.
I can't remember as a planet. I can't remember how many we have sent to Venus.
He didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it. Sorry.
You said Venus, our sister planet. I said
Right,
or Serena.
Oh, tennis. Anyway, so
what if Venus one day splits off and becomes Venus and Serena?
Oh, I don't.
You have planets.
Yes. Well, that's terrifying.
That'd be
So,
crazy
yeah,
as fuck.
well, it's terrifying for us. But so what I'm getting at though is we've sent. I can't remember how many craft we've sent to Venus to try and get video or photos of the planet's surface. Right.
Josh said also, how come we can get 4K HD quality images and videos from Mars, but we can't figure out what person did this robbery?
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Well, because we don't live in a police state yet. But anyway, so we sent all these craft to Venus. We've only got 6 images because the pressure on Venus, once you get below the atmosphere,
Yeah.
like the actual like planetary surface,
Yeah.
is so great they all
It just
crash. But
kills-
Russia
kills
got a
everything.
total of 6 images. That's all we have of Venus's surface.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But
That's
that
still more
pressure-
pictures than the bottom of the ocean.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, wonder what we could do. I'm assuming we haven't, figured something out. By the way, I heard that the theory for aliens, by the way,
Oh God.
is that they don't actually work within the same confines that we work because we work off of a periodic table, right? Because we discover elements. And the
Oh, yeah,
argument
yeah.
is that aliens have actually learned how to just create elements.
Right.
So they just don't work
So
within
we're
like the
discovering what they create.
Yes, in effect, right?
Gotcha.
So like their whole argument is that like the reason that their spaceships defy
Right.
our logic and
Because
reason,
they figured out super asymmetry.
right? They figured out that they can make an element do exactly what they want the element to do. They can literally control the element. So they
I want
are-
to control fire.
right. Well, the thing is if you think about it, the
Elemental control.
right, the way that works is so crazy because they're saying that basically they can make an element that reacts to air in a certain way.
Right.
And they can make that element change how it reacts to air on the fly. Like that's where their technology has gotten.
That's
so
crazy.
that's what their whole theory about these aliens is that, and they wonder if it's a divergent path right at the discovery of nuclear. So they wonder
Right.
if when the experiments of the atom are going, one path leads toward destruction and the other path leads towards creation.
Right.
And so we led towards destruction. They've
And
led
the
towards
other ones led
creation.
toward
And they think
creation.
that that's like the divergent path in species of.
So then here's a question that it just
Uh-huh.
comes into my head, right? So we have the Bermuda Triangle.
Yep.
Right? We don't know what's in there.
Right.
What if, hear me out, it didn't exist before? And when we started down the splitting the atom and going
Right.
atomic and nuclear, divergent paths,
Right. Yep.
one side was like, fuck this, I'm hiding
Yes.
Bermuda Triangle.
Right. Bermuda Triangle. I'm gone. Right.
And then they're just collecting
Well-
things. No, but listen, but they're just collecting things like Amelia Earhart.
Right. Like the people who took the stuff. Right.
Right. Like, come on. And then they're hiding them. And then we've got our destructive selves out here. So when we finally blow ourselves up, they're just going to come back out and be like,
Cool.
we're here
right.
to fix things.
Yeah, we can fix things. Right. Yeah. Well, and the thing is it would be helpful technology because if you can create atoms that do what you want, you'd be able to get rid of radiation because they would be able to manipulate the radiation back into like safe.
That's what I'm
stuff, right?
saying.
It's crazy. Yep. They're waiting for us to destroy ourselves. It's a
So
very
they can
small
come
group
out.
of people. Right. And they can take it. Right. So like I mean,
That's far fetched as fuck. But
yeah,
like,
it is. I mean, the whole idea. But the thing is
we don't know.
if aliens came down right now, what? I
They're
mean,
not
genuinely,
coming.
do you think? How do you
We
think
would
that we would
okay.
respond?
So 3 things would happen. We would try to have sex with them
I would Maybe.
immediately.
I'd ask my wife.
Nah,
Be like, are you in?
I'd be like, babe, aliens, I'm fucking it.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna have one over.
Or it's gonna fuck me. One of the
Right.
two.
Yeah.
like gonna face fuck me.
Yeah. Right.
We're gonna fuck it. We're gonna fight it.
Right.
Or it's just absolutely gonna obliterate us.
Right. Exactly. It's one of those 3 things.
That's just
right,
it. That's it. That's the only 3 options we have.
I mean, that's
Because like it says in Independence Day, the movie, no peace.
Right. Yeah. No peace.
No peace.
No peace. Right. I feel like we're with Bermuda Triangle, like there's too many things that are strange about our planet for you to not believe in something.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I get really frustrated with like hardcore atheists where they're
Right.
like, there is no God. And I'm like,
Are you sure?
are you sure? And not necessarily there may not be a Christian God. There may not be an Indian God, but there is definitely something.
There's
out there.
something out
Right.
there.
There's something out
Right.
there. Have you ever seen the episode of Futurama where
I have never
Bender
watched
meets,
Futurama.
Okay, Bender meets God.
Oh.
Okay. And
The
God,
robot. Bender's the robot, right?
Yes, Bender's
Okay.
the robot.
I've never
He
seen
gets launched
Futurama.
into
so-
space, and it's a hilarious episode. He learns what it's like to be God because a meteor hits him
Oh no.
on his body, and then life forms. In this time that he's out in space, like stuck, they land on his back, and then these people, a species evolves, like a humanoid species evolves on
Oh.
his back,
Crazy.
and he's God, right? And he basically creates a society that gets polarized, and then they nuke each other, and everybody dies on his back. Okay, and the whole
That
thing
makes
is
sense.
right, and he's super depressed because he thought he would be a better God, and he also thought that life would like push towards like survival and
Yeah.
creation. And so then all of a sudden he gets stuck and he gets out in this nebula, and the nebula is God. So he's like flying by God, and he starts talking to God. It's a hilarious episode because
That's
it's not
wild.
you would think of who's God, right? And this is all
Right.
done in a comedic setting. I'm making it
Yeah,
more
yeah,
serious
yeah,
than it
yeah.
was. And the whole point of the episode though was that the creator, I can't remember the exact line. I'd have to think of what it is, but it's actually a really good episode, like a feel good episode.
Right.
And trying to deny that something like that could even exist to me is just so ridiculous as a
Right.
person to like live in such a rigid black and white kind of mentality. And it's like Bermuda Triangle, there's something going on, man.
Right.
That whole thing that's on TikTok and it will not get out of my feed about there being a line on the planet where it's the Easter Isles, the
Oh.
Stonehenge.
Bro,
the
the weird ass
pyramids.
big ass compass.
Right. Yes. Right. Like they're
Why
wondering-
is there a fucking 70-foot compass
right.
on our
Yes.
planet
Right. And they're all on that line though of the planet, right?
Yeah.
And so
with the Bermuda Triangle?
my theory is that when we learn it's actually a map. I actually think that line
Yeah.
is they're trying to give us a point of origin, and that if we follow that, we figure out how to map that to our location in the galaxy, we'll be able to find our creators, right? So like I actually think that's the whole shadooby. Either our creators or the people who sped our development up, because there's a
Right.
speed of there's a development change in humans that's very unexplained, where we go from like being
Stupid.
stupid and nomad, like very nomadic and
Yeah.
and then boom to like civilized
Can
humanity
you
with
stop?
tools and everything. So I think that there's something, but I think it's a map. The
Yeah.
Bermuda Triangle, I think, plays into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
Is it
on that line.
Yeah, it's on that line.
So
So it's like
the technical like right angle drawing of the Bermuda Triangle, it has one whole edge on that. So like if you look at which edge that's on, what is that arrow pointing to?
right, exactly. You don't know, right? Exactly. Yeah. So what is it, right?
Bum,
So,
bum,
I don't
bum.
Bop, you just
Well, I
go right
mean,
here.
and what you're talking about that new the progressiveness of the human species, right? So there was a definite jump back like Dark Ages, right?
Right. We've
Where
had a
we-
couple.
Where we went, well, two very big predominant ones, right? So what I would consider like the Dark Ages just before firearms, right?
Okay. Right. Yep.
So we had that huge jump
Right.
where firearms came into play, And then within 100 years, firearms like from China, like turned from like haha funny, like rockets to the sky,
Right, yeah, fireworks, right.
fireworks, to holy fuck, we have machine guns.
Right. Yes. Right.
Right. So there's that. And then 40 years later, there's a whole other jump that has nothing to do with it, which could have been very constructive, but then we made it not
Right.
because we're stupid.
Right.
With the internet.
Right. Yep. Yep. Right. No, I agree. It's
Like
weird. It's
technology in the last 50 years
Right.
has progressed at a rate that should have been over the course of like 500 years.
Right. I mean, think about this.
Who's putting that in here?
So when I get incredibly medicated, one of the thoughts that really, really dominates my brain
Right.
is, if you think about it, so it's the year we'll round. It's the year 2000, right?
Okay.
If you only rewind 500 years, so like literally only 6 humans' existence, like 6 to 7 humans' existence on the planet, full existence,
500 years.
back to back to back, right?
Okay.
So each person, so in 6
yeah.
generations' lifetime,
Yeah.
we have went from riding horses
Yeah.
with iron and shields
Yeah.
to literally being able to simultaneously and instantaneously communicate with anyone on the planet
At
and
any
send
given
images
time.
back from a planet that is, what is it, 30 or 25 million miles away.
Yeah.
Right? So like
In 4K.
in 4K, right? With audio.
Yeah.
Right? Using only radio frequency.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even complex technology. Like,
I
radio
wonder-
frequency is extremely old technology.
I wonder if, and this is just me, could we get Bluetooth signal out there?
Well, I don't know the actual hertz rates and stuff like that. I do know that
Yeah.
radio frequency is permanent and like goes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
like it stays in its form and it doesn't really disperse until like the edge of our solar system.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like radio frequency is pretty
It's awesome.
awesome, but it's also
Really old.
technically 200-year-old technology.
Yeah.
Right? That would put us at 19.
My wife just said aliens.
Yeah. Aliens. Yes.
Aliens.
Yes. I don't believe we got here by chance. I think
Yeah.
that there's something that sure.
So
And I don't know how
like,
this ties back into the Bermuda Triangle, other than it's their possible hiding spot.
I mean that's all we know about it, right?
Right.
We know that Amelia Earhart technically flew over top of it
Right.
and never came home.
Right. I wonder if it's time
She
travel.
had made several flights, several hundred flights
Right.
in preparation for that flight,
Right. I don't know, man.
and then never came home.
I do agree that it does seem like we just stopped. Because I
Yeah,
remember
and we
that.
just,
People were obsessed with the Bermuda Triangle.
bro, and it went like the obsession went all the way up to like Illuminati.
Right. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Illuminati started, right? And then they were like, "Oh fuck, the Illuminati's in the Bermuda Triangle," and then
Right.
everything went silent.
I actually do believe that there is
About-
some kind of an organization like the Illuminati.
Well, yeah, it's called the Masons.
Well, yeah, and the Freemasons. So, dude, my dad has a whole thing he could talk about.
I want to join the Masons.
that talks
to be
about
honest.
so that I'm gonna shoot some shots here. Shots are about to be
I mean,
fired.
that's
Chat.
fine.
I've been to a church here. So have you ever been to the cathedral downtown?
No.
Okay, so go to the cathedral.
I don't go to
Scottish,
churches.
Go
I'll
to
set
the
myself
Scottish
on fire.
Rites Cathedral. It's not for church.
Oh, I've been to the Scottish Rites Cathedral.
Okay.
That's where
Did
one of
you
my
get a
friends just got
tour?
married.
Did you get a tour while you were there?
No, one of my friends got married there.
Okay, so
I
you
was there
just
for a
went. You
wedding.
just went for a wedding and left.
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Scottish Rites Cathedral. If you sit there and go through the tour,
Yeah.
I was super fascinated. Like as soon as this guy started talking, they're obsessed with the number 3. Everything in the building is divisible by 3. Every distance. So
Well, yeah,
in a room,
because
a corner-
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
right? Yeah, but it's more than that. It's mathematical. The guy who created the cathedral is obsessed with the number 3
Yeah, yeah.
and blah blah blah. But then he took us down to like the archives. Have pictures of every member since photography has existed at this.
Show me on this doll where they touched you.
Yeah. So this is where it gets weird. You know, it's men's only,
yeah.
and they dress up as women and perform stories from the Bible I'm not into that, man. Sorry. And that's actually part of your initiation is that you have to actually go in, dress
No
as
way.
a woman. I'm not kidding you. You can go look this up. There's this whole thing. And I remember because at that point I was like, this is actually pretty interesting. I was like, what do you have to do to join? And then
Because
boom,
I
he
have
drops
friends.
that bomb.
I have friends that are Knights Templars that never did that.
They have a whole thing. You might not have to be a woman, but you have to dress up and perform these weird biblical stories. And I'm just like,
I'm not all about the Bible.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying is like, so, but yeah, that anyway, that's neither here nor there. But,
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look more into it.
yeah.
You know
But
what's really, you
go
know
on
what
the
really
tour.
stops me from doing it?
What?
Like joining the Masons?
What?
Is your initial entry fee is like $270.
Oh, that's not terrible, I guess.
And I'm like, ah.
yeah. Oh, by the way, right down here by the road, by me, there's a Freemason, like a building. It's like
Yeah,
right
like a
here. It's like
lodge.
it's old. It's
Yeah.
old. You can tell it's been there since like we still thought it was cool to make buildings in like Roman architecture.
Josh said he knows a couple of Masons. They're weird, but interesting.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
a lot
exactly.
of Masons.
Right,
Right.
yeah,
My
yeah.
grandfather was a Mason.
Yeah, your grandfather dressed up like a woman,
No, nope. I guarantee that didn't happen.
or he just never told you about it.
Nope. I guarantee that my very German great grandfather, who was in World War II, never dressed up as a woman.
Which side did he?
Ours.
Okay,
He
good.
actually defected from
Oh, from Germany.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
That's good.
And
That's good to
then-
know.
joined the army and went straight to D-Day.
Oof.
And then came
Yeah.
home.
Yep. Hey, at
He
least
went
made
to
it.
he went to Omaha Beach.
But yeah. So anyway, I'm just trying to find our messages here and see if I can.
I
find them.
actually don't have to follow that rule, Josh, because I am technically a legacy. What the fuck are you watching?
I'm
over
looking
there?
at your videos to see if I can find a topic here.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. So that's one. That's the one. We're not gonna talk about that. That's the one
Which-
with the husband and the wife, and she's like, if you go through that door, and he's like, so he sits up through the.
Oh
the-
yeah, he goes
yeah.
out the sunroof. I kind of want to talk about that though.
Huh?
I kind of want to talk about that though.
What? Okay. Yeah. Sure. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
So men's week, right? Or like men's.
Is there a men's week?
Well, that's what he was going at. Boys week.
Oh,
Men's
like a
week.
like a
Yeah, like
a
he's
time
going
for
out
men where
like a
he was
time for
with
men.
his buddies. Right. Yeah. And they go
Right.
do stuff. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
If it's already pre-agreed on, and you've
Right.
talked to your spouse about it,
Right.
there's none of this bullshit. Well, this just came up at the last minute. You can't
Right.
go. Fuck
Yes.
you.
Yeah. 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 I don't.
Like I've been planning. Me and you have been planning a hunting trip
Yeah, it's
already
gonna
this
take- yeah,
year for
yeah.
2 months.
I'm not gonna hear it, but my wife wouldn't do that anyway.
I mean, I wouldn't either. But I'm just saying,
Right.
like, this is happening.
I actually argue.
Fuck off.
I actually argue that falls into this whole. There's like waves of feminism.
Yeah.
The first one was to have equal rights to men.
Yeah.
The second was to
Abolish men.
abolish men. No, there's a way that it's explained, and I can't remember how it's said, but there's first wave, which was to have equal rights. The second wave was to take away men's rights.
Yeah.
But no, take away men's rights, but keep the responsibility
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
being a man. The third wave was to emasculate men and make them subservient.
Right.
And there's like this whole like era, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's the same thing where we've hit this society. It's like sitcoms changed the life, right?
Right.
Men and women didn't used to be like assholes to their there was abusive men, right? For
Right.
sure. And there were definitely women that were probably abusive as well. There's
Right.
probably a kind of situation. What I'm saying is
But
as
then
a
Sex in
societal
the
whole-
City happened.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is then all these shows started making it where it was like, you don't need no man. But like that turns into what's his face?
If a family member, okay, my wife says it depends on what it is. If a family member dies, you're going to have to cancel. If they're dead, they're fucking dead.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
They're not going to miss me.
Yep. I actually have said to my wife, if I pass away, I don't want a funeral.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that stuff. Just put me in the ground. I'm dead.
I want to be launched into space.
If you want to have a get together and remember me,
That's
100% on you guys.
I legitimately want to be launched into space when I die.
That would be pretty deep. I think
Yeah.
that'd be pretty.
It's like $20,000. It's a
Yeah,
little
dude.
tiny rocket. They put your ashes in it and just pew.
That'd be pretty cool.
Here's why. Back to the
Some
Bermuda Triangle
alien.
thing. Because I really want to know if I die and am turned into ashes and launched into space, if an alien catches my rocket and is like, reconstituted.
Right. Yeah. And then you're alive again.
And then I'm like, holy fuck, this is awesome.
Yep. No, I.
Can you fix my heart?
Yes. And they're
We
like,
already
no,
did
we
it.
can only. No, they'll be like, no, we can only reconstruct you as
Fuck
you.
you. Kill me again.
Were.
Put me back in the rocket.
Launch me till I find another species that can do this. But anyway, so
Right. Shoot me that way.
find the next guy.
My
that can
wife
fix
said
me.
it sounds like women are trying to turn men into slaves.
Well, I mean, I
And
don't.
that's from a woman's mouth.
Yeah, I don't think
That's-
that women as a whole are. I think this wave of feminism
Right.
is. But I don't know many women that are like that. It's these angry women that
Ooh,
they're
yeah,
kind of
there
the
is a
equivalent-
trend. Hashtag life without men would be
Oh yeah, See, that's what I'm
stupid.
saying.
It
It's
would
so
be
stupid.
it would be
It
flat
stupid.
tires
Right.
and broken down houses.
Right. But like, I saw a funny TikTok that was a guy, right? Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna talk about this. It's a bigger topic. It's actually
It's a
good.
bigger topic.
Is the husband? There's a couple videos. We'll talk about the one guy, the famous black guy that was talking to the woman on her show, and he was like, "You gonna make Daddy a sandwich?"
Oh,
right? We'll talk about
yeah.
that in a second.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. No,
Not
it's not
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. It's he's the guy who plays the Falcon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like everywhere right now. He's all over the place.
Bro,
But anyway,
make
so-
daddy a sandwich.
make Daddy a sandwich. Yeah, I thought. Oh,
He was like, if I'm out cutting grass, you're gonna bring daddy some lemonade.
right. Yeah. Oh boy. But you know what?
He right.
Right. And we'll talk about that in a second. So I want to make sure I get the whole thought out. So women, I don't think that women are trying to do it as a whole, right? Like,
Right.
but I do think that it's like in a relationship. My
Yes.
wife and I have a relationship where
Yes.
we communicate with each other.
Yep.
And there are things that I do and there's things that she does.
Yeah.
And there's no like, it's not like because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Because like I could argue that me doing the dishes would be like traditional women's work,
Right.
right? But like I do that stuff. And
Yeah.
she also helps when she can
Right.
with yard work, right? Like if
Yeah.
it's something outside of her physical capabilities, because women are genetically predisposed to not be as strong as men.
Right.
Like
Like I don't expect my wife to pick up a 170-pound bed by herself.
Right, exactly, right. And I usually don't even ask
But
for
I
help.
expect myself to be able to
Right,
do that.
exactly. Like there are things that I'm like, "Ugh, I need to work on it if I can't do it. Right.
Right.
That's because I feel like that's my thing.
So
right?
on that topic, right, there are those roles that we have.
Right.
Me and my wife have very open communication with each other.
Right.
One of her roles in our relationship is that she takes care of all the finances.
Right.
Because
That's usually
I
me.
have ADHD and I have a fucking spending problem. And
Right.
I know it.
Right.
I will spend every goddamn dime we have on dumbass shit that doesn't even
Right.
make sense.
Right, exactly.
Or
Yep.
tools.
Yep. Right. Which are useful. You should always bake them into the cost
But
of a
like-
project.
But like,
Right, but then you get a tool that's like there was this time where I was
I have this one thing that I've only used once,
right.
but I have it.
There was this tool that I had saw where you could take two things and it would hold them together, and then it gave you drill lines for
Yeah.
your drill so that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could get a drill through two pieces. You know how many times I'm going to use that thing?
Never.
Exactly. But I wanted it because it was so cool. And that's what I'm saying is
There's
like,
so many tools like that.
that's what I'm saying. There's so many things. Okay. Go the other way though. In the kitchen, my wife, there's a knife for avocados. It's got everything. It's a tool that you can splice around the outside. Then it has a hole in the center with metal things so that you can pull the seed out.
Right.
And then it has, if you flip it, it's got 3 blades. Scoop it
Oh,
outside,
yeah,
slice.
yeah.
The whole thing. It's an
It's-
avocado tool.
And it works.
Why do you need that?
You
don't
don't. Use
need
a
it. You
spoon.
have a spoon and a knife,
Yeah.
and you're done.
So
That's what I'm saying.
that part of the duties of the house, right?
Right.
Part of the relational duties, if you will.
Right.
I cut everything,
What do you mean?
like with a knife.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like
right.
hey babe, we need to cut potatoes.
Got it. Right. That
Cool.
should be a rule in our house because I cut my finger all the time, and
Yeah,
my wife
so
should be the
I
one
don't.
doing it. Right. Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah.
And I do it quickly and efficiently. My wife can do it, but because she's afraid of cutting off her finger, she's very slow, very
Right.
methodical about it.
Right. Yep.
And that's just because she's not been
Doing it a
used
long
to
time, right,
having knives in her hands all the time.
Right.
I fucking walk around with a pocket knife. I walk
Right.
around like there's 4 knives in my car right
Right.
now.
Right. Yeah. That's just how it is.
There's blades and sharp shit everywhere.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
I had a time where I was boning out a shoulder, and a pork shoulder.
Yeah.
Person's a pork shoulder.
Yeah, I got what you meant.
And I had a boning knife.
Yeah.
And the boning knife, I was following this line, and I put too much force on it, popped off, and hit my knuckle right here, right where that vein right there, and it went right into it, all the way down into the joint.
This thumb. See that scar on my thumb?
Yeah.
That's why we don't use mandolins anymore.
Right, yeah. We're getting rid of our mandolin. Yeah, nah, dude. So the boning knife went down, and it was so much blood. I didn't think that I was going to be one of those people that, because like I've got a deer, dude. I'll go up to a deer, it's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
No problem. But I didn't know, seeing my own blood, I literally was like, whoa, and I got like queasy, and I was like, what?
Well, that's actually shock. That's not.
Oh, okay.
That's not anything that's
okay.
just to do
So
with
I
you.
saw it, and there's just blood, blood, dude. It was bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, and everybody was like, oh, just put some super
So
glue on
your
it. I tried that.
ocular nerves actually connect with your pain receptors, which connect to the rest of your body, right?
Right.
And so when you cut yourself, you may not know that you're cut until you see the cut. And it wasn't the blood that made you queasy. It was seeing the cut and the blood, like where the blood was coming from.
Right.
And seeing how deep that cut could have been based on the blood. Your optical receptors told your brain, hey, we need to protect everything, started sending you into shock.
Yeah. And I literally was weak-legged.
Operational emergency surgery
Yeah.
school.
Yay! And I had to crawl to the sink because I was literally like, it was the weirdest feeling I've ever had in my life. And it wasn't like now, like not that bad, right? There's still a little scar inside there, but it's just one of those things that's like,
but like
so weird.
That's our relational duties.
Yes.
I do all the grass cutting.
Right.
If there's something that needs repaired in the house,
that's yours.
because I have experience.
Right.
I do that.
Right.
I fix the cars because I've got experience.
Right. What I don't like is when people judge either way.
Right.
Right. So it's up to the couple to determine.
Right. So like if my wife was a mechanic professionally, I'm not fucking touching a car.
Yeah. You go fix it. That's
like,
exactly what it would
babe,
be. Right.
You can fix the cars. I will cook dinner. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
who cares? It doesn't matter. And that's what I'm saying is that because we assign those things, but what he was saying, and this is what pisses me off because all these feminists started saying it was, bullshit, is what he was saying is if you think that I have a set of responsibilities, I'm going to think that you have a set of responsibilities. That's really what he was saying.
Yeah.
Now, he was following traditional cis, whatever terminology, I don't know how that all works. Like orthodoxy, right? Like he was following kind of like how things have been, right?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
None.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with a woman who has more masculine hobbies and interests with being married to a guy who has more. Like imagine a couple where the woman's like more macho, she's into weightlifting and she likes to fix cars.
She's
and
like
stuff,
going out
and
to go hunt
and
shoot
he
guns.
sits at home and he likes to cook and he likes to bake and he likes to do that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. But this is what I mean. I don't think this is the time or place to talk about, but I actually feel like that's what leads people to feel like they need to question everything is they feel like they had to fit a mold. And that's the problem is that we're not talking more about like
I like to sew, right?
Yeah, sure. Right.
Like,
yeah, I was good at sewing. I just never did
I'm really great at it.
Right.
You know, when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, I would sit with my biological mother and my mother, and we would sew things, and we would make quilts and blankets, and I'm good at it.
Right.
It's fulfilling because I see that I can do this, and it makes something. Right? That never made me feel like I had to be gay.
Right. Yes. Right. It just, but society, because
I have a doll.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people. I mean, some people know this. I have a doll.
Okay.
It's a Jamie Pies doll.
Okay. I have a Rabby doll.
From 1985.
Right. Yeah.
That my parents bought for me before I was even born.
Right. Yeah.
I still have that doll in my living room.
Right.
And I carried it to Iraq with me.
Nothing wrong with that.
I slept with it in Iraq. Like I would. It's mine.
It's comfort.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I never felt that because I had a stuffed doll that I had to be any particular way.
Right. But what I'm saying is there were probably guys, I don't know, maybe. I don't
Fuck
know if them,
no.
yeah, right. Yeah.
I would
don't
fight
think that,
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying is, but in society, there are guys.
Yeah.
Like I remember as a kid. So here's what I'm getting at. So in.
Oh, you're a little sissy girl?
Yeah. When I was in 7th grade, I had
no.
the highest grade in sewing class.
Yeah.
I was good.
I was
I
great.
made the best. What were they called? Locker pockets or whatever. Where it was like a thing that hung in your locker, and it had a bunch of like
Oh, yeah.
slides in there, and you could put it on the top, and then it was there for you to. I had the best one. I think it was called Locker Pocket. Anyway,
whatever.
I made the best one, and she was like, "This is pristine." She's like, "Your lines are perfectly straight. You have your corners are awesome." Blah blah blah. Right, and there were guys that were like, "Call me the word that rhymes with a maggot." Right?
Yeah.
Because I was good at sewing, and I remember
They called
being
you a
like,
bundle of sticks.
yes, and I went, and I was like, "What?
It
Why?"
doesn't make you that.
I was
though.
like, "Why?" I was like, "I like girls."
Right.
Like, I'm
Well, I was
obsessed
a
with girls.
cheerleader.
Oh, right, yeah, it's the
Bro.
same thing. Right, yeah, same thing. Same, like, dude, those
When
guys
you're a
gotta be
dude
strong.
cheerleader,
Yeah.
they're like, well, I wasn't a lifter.
okay.
I was a tumbler.
Oh, okay.
I was 120 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, when
I
I
was
in
as
high school-
tall as me
Right, but 120. Right.
at 100 and,
I was
115 pounds.
I was as tall as I am, and I was 150 pounds.
I was 115.
Yeah, I wasn't lifting
1.5.
nobody. I wasn't lifting nobody.
Mm-mm.
No.
I could catch people. I could do like
Right.
an assisted basket toss, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Right, but that's what I'm
I'm
saying
not
is
doing
like
that.
we went to this world. We went into this world where like someone tries to define everything,
Yeah.
and instead of it being like,
But I pulled
Why-
more girls than the football players did
that's what I'm saying.
because I'm
dude.
hanging out with them
Right,
all the
exactly,
time.
all the time, right? And it's kind of like,
You have football practice. I'm going to go hang out with your girlfriend. Fuck you.
right? Yeah, have fun, dude. Have fun.
Go slap ass with the dudes.
yeah. I used to say same thing about wrestling. Like all these
Right.
toxic males, right? Like being like, yeah, man, I'm ripped. And I'm like, dude, you spend your whole day
Grabbing dudes.
grabbing dudes, and you want to call me the gay guy?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think
whatever.
that works.
That's or
Read a
maybe it's this.
dictionary.
Maybe, just maybe, none of it's gay.
Not at
Maybe
all.
at
Maybe
all.
it doesn't
Maybe-
matter.
Maybe it doesn't matter. Exactly. And I remember being like, always made fun of because like I was the one that would always push against, like we've talked about this, like at the bar. Like a guy who orders an Appletini
Right.
is less of a man than the guy who orders a Miller Lite.
So, as
I'm
a
like,
bartender,
Nah.
I have much more respect for a dude who can walk up to me and be like, "Hey, man, I would like an Appletini,"
Right.
than some macho fucking punk ass like,
Right.
"I'll have a Bud
No,
regular."
it's I'll have a Miller High Life. I'll have yellow water, please. Right.
I'll have a Mick Ultra.
Yeah, Mick Ultra. That's it. That's
Here's
the
your
one I'm thinking of,
adult water,
right? Yeah, here's your adult water. Right. Yeah, exactly.
bro.
I that's my point is that, but then that guy would turn and look at the guy getting the Appletini and try
Both
to
those
turn
are,
it into a
dude. Do you know? Okay, Josh. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. An Appletini tastes delicious, and it will fuck you up.
Yep. Here's
Like
how
a tequila sunrise does not look like it should be anything.
No, but it's good.
It
And
will-
same with Long Island
it
iced
will
teas.
put you the fuck down.
So Long Island iced teas, like
Yeah.
they're all good. So, and here's the whole thing that I've always said, because you and I talked about this. If I'm sitting to drink something for taste,
Right.
I'm not going to drink anything alcoholic. I'm going to drink
Right.
a Coca-Cola, because a Coca-Cola to me, fantastic. And so I don't need to sit there and try and say like, oh, I'm manly because I
Right.
put Jack in my Coke. Like, get over yourself, dude. There's no litmus test for masculinity.
Right.
If anything, you're
Dude.
failing because you have to say that you're masculine.
If anything, I think that gay dudes drink harder
yes.
than
Right.
fucking straight guys.
Yeah.
I have a gay couple that come in every Sunday. They're two of my regulars. They're amazing gentlemen. I love them to death.
Right.
One of them drinks 1,800 straight.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
buddy.
Ooh, buddy.
And he'll
Right.
he'll do like a tall rocks glass, 1,800 straight. He will drink 4 or 5 of those a night.
Right. Yeah, because he started drinking Appletinis. Now they're not enough.
Bro. You're
Right.
drinking 18. Oh.
Yeah. Dude, I started making a tincture and I used 190 proof alcohol. Oh boy.
Dude,
Oh boy.
1,800 though?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't
And
like it.
occasionally he'll be like, I need a little bit of flavor. Can you give me like a lemon or a lime?
Yeah, just a little bit of squeeze. Yeah. That's my point.
And I'm
Is it-
like, bro, you're drinking 1,800 straight.
What it comes
How
down
are you
to-
alive?
Right. What it comes down to is I don't feel the need to appease someone else's construct of what I should be.
Right.
And that's where I think it's funny, because I also try to not have a construct of what I think others should be. And that's what I think is really weird. Now, does that mean that we can't make assumptions? Right? I don't think so. Oh, man, hold on. One of the topics just hit me. We don't have a whole lot of time. We don't have any time. Crap.
I mean, we can extend.
We were talking about, no, we can't. I'm starving, and I want a quesalupa. And we have bows to shoot. What were we talking about?
Oh my God.
When
My
you
wife
call-
sent me a text message.
Oh, no, what is it?
Just said religious idea. Christians believe that God is perfect. We are all we are all made in his image.
Right.
What if he's just all powerful and not perfect, but want to make us believe that he is?
Yeah. Or you
Like-
could be like who Alex
Like we
Jones
fuck
is.
up his parents all the time, and maybe since he is supposed to be our father, he's fucking up too.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, buddy, that's a
Or
whole different topic.
You got to go Alex Jones, and you go like this. You go, who made God?
Bro,
Dum, dum, dum. Right, that's what I'm playing.
bro.
Anyway, we were talking about something today when I was at, and it came into we started talking about drag. Help me out here. How did we get to that point when we were in the conversation? We were talking about
Pronouns.
drag. Huh?
Pronouns.
Right. What led to pronouns? There was a topic that led all the way through that line of thought. We're talking about respect, and then I said something about pronouns.
Calling
and then,
people sir, ma'am.
right, but I'm trying to get to the original thought. Sir, ma'am, we're getting there. That was the part of it, saying sir, ma'am. And then we talked about how there are people who wear makeup, and that's why we said drag. And I think it was this topic we were talking about with men and women and cultural norms, but I can't remember, man.
I can't remember.
We'll have to remember it for next. Yeah, we need to just do a thing where we send a text that says topic 1, so
Yeah.
that we know,
Yeah.
like, here's our topics, instead of trying to remember all of them,
Yeah,
because we
'cause
have
we
so
both
many.
have ADHD like motherfuckers,
It's
dude.
bad, dude. It's
Yeah.
I need to go.
Like I've been in this conversation, right? And
Yeah.
I know that my bow is sitting right there.
Right, yeah. It's like, and I'm thinking Taco Bell, and I'm thinking shooting
And I'm like,
bows.
this is delicious. I want a quesalupa, and I want to
Yeah.
go shoot my bow.
Yeah, I
an
don't
arrow.
want to go shoot my bow. Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I feel you.
I want to go play Cowboys and Indians outside after I drink this whole energy drink and eat a taco. That's so much cultural
That's so
appropriation.
American. Yeah, dude. It's funny you say that, cultural appropriation. So I have
Cowboys and Indians,
right.
energy drinks, and tacos.
Yes. Yes.
I'm like
100%.
7 races.
Yeah. So I have a character in EverQuest that is an erudite. Erudites are black people. They're the only black people in EverQuest. And his name is cultural appropriation. and I get so many whispers because I'm like, dude, I'm white as hell. And they're like, this is
That is pretty
that's
funny.
pretty funny. So I have a character. I love it. But
Josh said now he wants a drink. And he sent me a picture of a glass of 1800. I can't believe you drink the fucking brown shit though, dude. Like
I'm all brown.
for
Absolutely.
tequila?
Yeah, if I drink tequila, I want old tequila, not young. Old.
Silver tequila, I think tastes better.
Yeah, but it's young and it has a different taste. I like it to be as close to whiskey as I can possibly.
Okay, so when I did drink,
Right.
I could not drink.
You can't do dark.
I could
right.
not do dark. And
Right.
here's why. Because I am an angry person. And dark alcohol makes me want to fight everybody. Like
Right.
everybody.
Yep.
I could look in
I
the
feel
mirror and want to fight
I
myself.
felt so right. Yeah, punch the mirror. Like, let's go.
Fuck you!
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
No, I prefer like scotch and
The
when I
only
drink.
one that didn't make me angry, Jameson.
Jameson's
And that's
good.
weird because it's the Irish whiskey.
Yep. Yeah, should have been Irish. Should have been angry.
Should make you want to fight anyway.
Yeah, I was a big fan of what's that? Johnny Walker Blue, Johnny Walker Green. Those were
Yeah.
those are my things those are what started me into whiskey or scotch, and then I kind of went from there. But yeah, no, I honestly now, like I said, I look at alcohol. Alcohol serves a purpose, If I'm going to do it, which I can't because we tested it, I still can't do it on allergy meds. It was
Yeah.
the worst day of my life after drinking, so I can't drink.
You know, I can
And-
make you sick right now, though. Malibu.
Dude, I literally burped, man. It's disgusting. I don't talk about it. I had a bad drinking experience with Malibu. And we talked
every drinking experience is a bad drinking experience
That's
with
good-
Malibu.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But no, but yeah, so I learned that I can't drink at all anymore. My whole point is that if I were able to drink, I look at drinking as a very specific purpose. I'm not worried about flavor. I'm worried about alcohol content, and I'm
Yep.
going to slug whatever is the cheapest, highest alcohol content thing down into my gullet so that I don't feel, or I do
Yeah.
feel, one of the two, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't look at it like a thing anymore. Because like I said, if I was going to sit down and drink something I enjoy, there is nothing better to me than a Mexicoke.
Where
You know what I'm
where do
talking
we
about?
hide our feelings? In our muscles.
Yes, in our muscles.
And how do
yeah.
we hide our feelings better? Get bigger muscles.
Yeah, I like. But have you ever had a Mexicoke? Do you like Coca-Cola? Is the
Yeah.
first question. Okay. Have you ever had a Mexicoke?
Except for when I'm trying to be more white,
Oof. Have you had a Mexicoke?
like a Coke from Mexico.
Yeah, a Mexico Coke.
Yes.
Yes, the glass bottle. We call them Mexicokes because they're from. They still use cane sugar. They don't use high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
They taste
Have you ever
different.
have you ever had a Coke?
Like a cocaine Coke.
Like like an original recipe Coke?
Nope. That'd be fun. I'd be
Bro.
wired.
4 days later.
What year is it? Yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying is like for me, if you want to sit down and say you get to drink something, what is the thing that you want? I want an ice cold Mexicoke
Yeah.
right on my glass. That's what I
Yeah.
want. No ice.
So
Coke,
when we were in
right.
California, right? They would bring taco trucks
Right.
out
yep.
into the desert, bro.
Right. Yep.
To the desert.
To the
And I'm
desert.
like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
business.
Yeah. And then it just boop, everything imported from Mexico, like all the Cokes are fucking Spanish writing on them. Bro.
Yeah, good. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Burritos that are as big
Yeah,
as your goddamn head.
Dude, I don't. Remember, I called him.
I
I'm
know.
gonna let you guys go with this thought. I called him on a Saturday or Sunday morning,
Saturday.
and I was like, and it was like 9:30.
Yep.
And he was like, "Why are you calling me?" I was asleep, and I was like, "Because I found a place that does breakfast burritos with potatoes in them." And
And I was like, Taco Bell?
yeah, I don't want to talk about. But anyway, we went or
Let's
I
go
went.
get Mexican.
And it was super good.
food.
Yeah. Let's go eat some Mexican food. But anyway, I don't know why I was telling you. Anyway, long story short, we found Mexican food. It drives me nuts because people here, like Josh, probably knows what I'm talking about. Josh, have you ever came up to the Midwest from
Texas.
from
He's
Texas,
in Texas.
right? And then realize like how white Mexican food is north of you? It is so unbelievably crazy the difference in the way food is. So like I lived near Tijuana, right? And so the Mexican food that we were eating in San Diego was so different than any Mexican food I can get here, like at all, period. I just can't find it. He's like, love me. But anyway, yeah, I think we had a good chat. It was fun. We didn't
Yeah.
cover a specific topic, but we just
We did.
rambled.
We covered a specific topic.
We probably did.
Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle. Yes. And we talked a little bit about gender roles. So,
Yeah.
if you guys like what you're seeing and you like these random conversations that we're having, please share with your friends and tell them
Yeah.
to join in on the conversation. It's really helpful.
Jackie would have been here, but she's at the doctor's appointment.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
His
Make sure.
eyeballs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's getting her antis prescriptions adjusted.
Oh, okay. Well,
Which the VA takes like 8 years to do anything. So like, you know,
that's another topic.
our
we
VA
can
is
talk
not even open right now.
about. Oh, I did have a topic. We'll talk about it next week. It's gonna get better and better. I want to Oh wait, we're almost there. We're almost there. Spring
Wow.
break just happened too in Florida with the
Fuck.
no rules. So
Oh yeah.
So we get to
Ooh.
see. So if we go 2 more weeks from now, we'll be able to see if the no mask thing is worth it or not.
Yep.
Right. And by the way, as a parting thought, maybe everybody can go look into this. Yesterday, I had put live TV on, like over the airwaves TV on my TV
Yeah.
for the first time in,
Years.
I would say, 8 years.
Yeah.
And they said over the airwaves, the news, local news was like, there is a new possible outbreak from one of the variants of COVID-19. And I was like, they're never going to let this end. They are going to keep coming up with some way to try and scare people into it. And it's like,
COVID-19.
yeah.
I blow
I don't even know what this is.
you away in the name of Jesus.
Oh, goodness. Oh, no. That's
that actually happened.
Oh, no. Okay.
That was a televangelist.
I'm good. No, let's not let that happen anymore.
I'll show you the video. It was hilarious.
But anyway, so my point
Because
is,
the dude looks like Satan.
stay woke when it comes to the idea that they are trying to control you.
Fake woke.
Yeah. Because I cannot in my mind understand how we can go, and it's like, how do people keep falling for it?
Yeah.
How do the masses keep falling for it?
Because they're stupid.
Oh God, you're getting close to it. We were talking about level of people and being stupid, Dunning-Kruger, and we were talking, dude, I'm trying to remember our conversation.
It's
You know
all
what I'm
coming
saying?
back. I'm
It's
like,
slowly flooding in. Anyway, we'll talk next week, chat.
we'll
Okay,
figure it out.
You want to say it before we go?
I love you guys.
That is not at all what I was expecting. So we're gonna go get some Taco Bell.
Okay. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
You fucking cunt.